Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday. I don't know what I'm going to talk about this week. I'm just going to wing it, which is, how I do it normally, but like more so. So, let me see. Started to say I had to leave the house this week. I had to go somewhere, but I didn't. That was last week. Just feels like this week because I'm still tired. I leave the house so rarely that it just feels like I must have just done it because it's still there in my brain. I am going to have to leave the house again this coming week, but I have not yet. What have I been doing? What have I done recently? Oh, I did. I am going to have to do backstory here. Because the punchline here to this story, the ending thing here is going to be I got a coffee grinder. That's not helpful unless you know why the coffee grinder is necessary, especially because it's not for coffee. Because of all of my various allergy situations, I cannot wear regular commercial sunscreen. And I do not really leave the house very often, but as you can see, I am quite pasty and I burn very, very quickly if I go in the sun. And so even if I'm going not very far in the car, I tend to try to put on sunscreen at least when it's really bright out and really when the sun is really strong, because I will burn very fast. And have many, many times on short car trips. So when this first started becoming an issue some time ago now, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 years ago now, I couldn't really wear regular sunscreen anymore. Although I do understand now that there is an actual brand of sunscreen that I could theoretically buy, that doesn't have corn in it, but at the time there was not, or at least I did not know of any. So what I had to do, and I don't recommend this, by the way, unless you really need to, what I had to do is Google for recipes, a make your own sunscreen kind of situation. And the reason that I don't recommend this is because the internet is full of weird wellness garbage that is not true. Do not let people tell you that carrot seed oil has X number of SPF, because it does not. That is a lie. That is not a real thing. But you will find many, many, many wellness websites telling you that it is real, and it is very much not. But I did eventually find, you have to wade through a lot of weird garbage, but I did eventually find, a recipe for, a homemade sunscreen that contained zinc powder. Zinc powder is an actual, mechanical sunscreen. It just blocks the sun, which is why, you see those, those colored zinc sticks and stuff. So I found a recipe that I thought seemed like it might work, and again, I have no way of testing the level of SPF in my home, obviously, but I will say I've been using this sunscreen for years at this point, and I don't really go outside ever now, but I used to sometimes go outside, and I have worn it in lots of situations where I would normally have gotten very sunburned if I was not wearing good sunscreen, and I have never burned through it thus far. Even in situations where, for some reason or other, I couldn't, reapply sunscreen during the day and just had to, put a bunch on in the morning and then go, and be out in the sun all day. I've never burned through it, so that's good. I have, anecdotal evidence. Whatever. So this is a very long kind of prologue to the coffee grinder. So anyway, so the point is that I have to make a lot of this kind of stuff myself, which necessitates equipment, things I got recently a scale, a kitchen scale type thing, that goes down to very small increments, so that's very helpful. I'm looking forward to actually using it. I've had it for a little while, but have not really been able to use it because I didn't have all the ingredients I needed to make the things that I was going to use it for. So I have I have recently started trying a recipe that is eventually, it's not right now, it's going to have to go through some iterations, but is eventually, I hope, going to be another like a sunscreen situation. But I had to, you have to, like, one of the ways that you mix things up is like with a coffee grinder, like the kind that just whirs around, not like a burr grinder or anything, but the kind that just has little blades that go spin. That's a technical term. And so I used to have one of those, but it died. So I no longer had like a coffee grinder that would work. And my mom, trying to be helpful, got me like a grinder thing, but she didn't understand what I needed. And so I ended up with this very odd grinder that works kind of, it's battery operated, but it works like a pepper mill. And it was not helpful at all. It did not work well. So I just got a new coffee grinder and like that. So that is my exciting thing for this week, that I can now mix up the thing that I wanted to mix up. Which is mostly like one of the things about making a zinc-based thing that you're going to put on your face is that zinc is white, but it's not even like a pure white. It's this slightly grayish white. So if you just put it on your face in your lotion formulation or whatever you're doing, it's not completely opaque, like not an absolute dead white, but it's it gives you this kind of zombie-ish appearance. It's really, really unpleasant. People look at you a little strangely when you go out looking like that. So you have to mix it with like pigments, like the kind that would be used for like mineral makeup. Same stuff. And if you're me, you can get away with a very small amount of pigment because I am very pale. But you need the coffee grinder for that too. Not because it comes in powder form. You don't need to like grind it up. But if you don't mix it with the coffee grinder, it doesn't get mixed up well enough because you have to crush the pigment a little bit. Even though they're already in powder form, like they need to be crushed more to like mix up with the stuff and to like to mix evenly. And so that's part of what you need the coffee grinder for. You can't just like mix it up with a spoon. It doesn't work very well. You can do it. I have done it. It does not work as well as the coffee grinder situation. So that's why I'm excited about the coffee grinder, because I need it to like do things like this. And I have this kind of a weird mad scientist thing happening here, I realize. Get off the table, you terrible cat! And he's just sitting there. He's not going to get down. I'm going to have to go remove him. So anyway, that is basically the point of the whole thing. We have arrived at the point of the coffee grinder, so I guess the story is done. I have to go remove a cat from a place where he's not supposed to be. So I'm sorry that I've spent 9 minutes talking about zinc powder, but I love you all very much, and it could have been worse. I could have talked about all kinds of other strange things that were less interesting. I could, really. So I have to go take Eric off the table where he's not supposed to be. I love you all very much. I hope that you are having a good week, and I will see you next week. Don't forget to be awesome.